was just the beginning. We might be home from war, but our mission continues in communities all across the country. It's why we're out there in times of peace and crisis, providing meals to the hungry and supplies to the sick. It's why we're giving strength to those who are too weak and bringing resources to those without them. Service doesn't stop when we're done serving. It's what makes us the VFW. Learn more at vfw.org.
Powered by Panama City Toyota.
Our fighting days are over because our service never stops. We're still serving, which is why we pledge to help our own, no matter where they are or when they need us. Standing in lockstep with those who stood so courageously for everyone else. It's what makes us the VFW. Learn more at vfw.org.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. Get ready. The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
Live and local.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
This thing is going to be a financial and cultural disaster.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
Whopper, 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 whopper.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And a good afternoon, Northwest Florida. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. It is Friday, July 11th. Happy Friday out there, everybody. Hopefully you had a great week. Hopefully we can get you on your ride home all safe, entertain you, and bring you into a great weekend. James Fife here. LSU Jeff with me. How are we doing on this afternoon, Jeff?
Doing good. It's pretty hot outside, though.
Oh, it's warm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, warm. I don't like the warm. No. It's one of those that I knew it was coming, moving down to Florida, and I've been here almost 10 years now, but you know what? Hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. I just cannot put it any other way. It's July, therefore it is warm. Bone Crusher. Hitting the ones, hitting the twos, making us go out to that worldwide world.
At least with this kind of heat, you know there's no one in your back seat ready to murder you when you get in the car.
No, because they're already dead. Yeah, they've been sitting there and they're already like ling-linged out. They got, the flies flying around them, everything. And you step into your truck. It's like, man, my truck usually doesn't smell this bad. Look in the back. Oh. Okay, this is what was happening. Well, we are live from the CBC Construction Studios. Head on over to cbcconstruction.com to give them a visit if you have any building needs or if you are looking for a good job. CBC Construction is your answer. 850-747-3815 is their phone number. 850-747-3815. You can call the show. You can text the show. 850-215-6290, and our phone line and our text line is brought to us by Red 7 Tees. Get a hold of Red 7 Tees at their website or give them a call, 850-612-7007. That's 850-612-7007. We are streaming. We are on Facebook, Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it, and we are on YouTube. All of them can be found, ESPN Northwest Florida. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We also have an app. You can just download the app. It's on the Google Play Store. It is in the Apple Store. Just type ESPN Northwest Florida. You'll see it. Download it. Listen to us everywhere you go. And the beaches are beautiful today because the sun is shining, the water is warm. And good news, everybody, flags are yellow out there, so the beaches good to go. But we do got purple flags. They didn't say what the marine life was, but usually when it's a purple flag, it is usually the jellyfish out there. So just be careful, look out for them because they might be there. So I have been gone for, the last week or so. I guess you guys have noticed that my beautiful voice has not been here. So I'm going to ask everybody, what did I miss while I was gone? You can call us in here at the studio, 850-215-6290. You can tell me the truth, what really happened in the sports world while I was gone. Or you can tell me a lie. That is up to you, and I will try to figure out if I'm getting the truth or if I am getting a lie. So head on over to your phones, text us on in, or get on Facebook, leave us a message. Sports going on today. Only one afternoon baseball game. We got it on the boob tube here. It is the Cleveland Guardians taking on the Chicago White Sox. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Guardians have the lead over the White Sox. It is a 4-2 lead for the Guardians. White Sox at the plate. So, a game that right now doesn't really look like it has any playoff implications because of that. I did see that the, Guardians had a massive drop-off while I was gone. Lost 11 in a row, I do believe, at one point. Not a pretty picture for those guys out there. So let's just get into some basic news of what is going on over the past few days. So, ownership groups come, they go, people buy in, people buy out. There was a gentleman named Eli Manning that was looking into being a part owner of the New York Giants, but Eli Manning came out the other day and said, you know what, the price is a little too high for my flavor. So he said, no, thank you, I am not going to be part owner of the New York Giants. So at least Mr. Manning made an attempt to, be a part of the ownership of something that, I guess he loves. He played football long enough that, you figured he's got to love the sport. But I get that, man. It's an expensive taste up there.
So let me tell you a little background behind that. Most people do not know. Eli's dad, Archie, he was a Giants fan growing up in rural Mississippi. And it was because there was an Ole Miss quarterbacking for the Giants back then. And so I'm not sure how much, of course the kids were, Saints fans growing up, but there was probably always that hint of, Giants. And then when Eli had the trade from, the Chargers to the Giants, Archie was completely good and fine with that because he knew the owners and everything.
Yeah, and he probably thought it was a better situation too.
Oh, absolutely. Even though, I'm sure Archie knew how the scrutiny is in New York City with the media. Sports, yeah. So, anyway, there was 2 evaluations on the Giants, and somebody had talked about $10 billion, but the 2 evaluations came in at like 7.8, I think, and like $7.1 billion for the team. So 10% went up for sale. So you do 10% for, let's say, $7 billion. That's $700 million.
Yeah, that's a chunk of change.
Yeah, and so Eli was like, are you kidding me? And I'm not sure if he was thinking I'll just grab 3 or 4% or whatever, but they might not want that. They might want somebody who wants a significant part of it, and somebody they trust and like.
I just also wonder what really the NFL teams bring in as like a yearly profit that can be divided amongst all those people.
A dividend. I don't even know if most of these teams cut that because some of them just kind of sit on it.
Yeah, some of them you just like you're the owner. You get your money when you sell because it goes back into the team because they're not cheap operations to run.
Oh no, are you kidding me?
Because you got to think about it. Just think about how big a football stadium is, and you think about renting a business. Let's just break it down to it is a business. Mm-hmm. How much do you pay to rent a building? Now think about how big that building is and what it costs to rent it. Not only that, a lot of teams in their contracts with the cities, they are responsible for upkeeps.
Yeah.
Now there are some teams that got really great deals, like the Bengals have an excellent deal where the city has to pay for everything. Like if they want a new scoreboard, city pays for it. Something breaks, city pays for it. So Mr. Brown has a great deal there in Cincinnati. I don't really know the deal with the Giants, though, on how they operate. But still, it's got to be an expensive market to just operate in. And then all those guys, what's the minimum wage now? It's over 100, or not minimum wage. What's the cap? Over 150 mil now?
Oh, my God. I don't even know.
So it's an expensive. I can see it as being a very expensive venture because you're not only paying those 53 guys on the field. You got coaches, you got training staff,
administration.
You got guys that are in the front office. You got scouts, and those scouts are going to turn in bills for airline flights and bus tickets to get here, there, and everywhere else. So
what that reminded me of was George Costanza on Seinfeld. How he was working for the Yankees organization, and he was in charge of the travel for the Yankees. And he went up I can't remember if it was Jeter or who it was, and he was like, hey, let me show you something about, swinging a bat. And then the guy was like, hey, aren't you the guy who, like, books our trips? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, well, you booked us into this trashy place in Milwaukee or something like that. And it was freaking hilarious scene, Oh my God.
Oh yeah. And it's those things is you stay in pretty good hotels there. If you are at that level, like I know when guys go into Chicago to play the Cubs, they stay at the Drake. And if you've not heard of it, people look up that hotel. It's been around since the 1900s and like early 1900s.
Yeah.
And it is old and just absolutely beautiful. Much different than minor league baseball, because when I was working in minor league baseball, it was the Best Western.
How do you feel about like I'm just going to go and call it second fiddle teams in a city like that, like the White Sox?
It's a lot of creating of your own doing. You know, it's your little brother.
Yeah.
And let's face it, the Cubs, I think, are the bigger team in Chicago. The team that's been around slightly longer. Yeah. Not a whole lot longer.
Plus it's the South Side, because everybody talks about the South Side.
South Side.
That's the White Sox.
It's White Sox. And I think the White Sox were bigger at one point, but I think this last
100 years ago,
especially this last 15 years have just destroyed that fan base. Because they had that good run in 2005.
Yeah.
They got the World Series then, and then they had 1-2 seasons after that was okay, and then we got to blow it up to fix it and get back to the playoffs, and we're still waiting on that now.
One of the most interesting stories ever, if you ever get to see it, I think it was like 1996. Seattle Mariners were about to move from Seattle, and it was King Griffey Jr. got injured when he was going for a ball into the wall in the outfield, and they said that he missed, I don't know, like 70 games or something like that, but when he came back, he was a wrecking ball, and they went to the playoffs, and they, were just so much better than, before he got injured, and that saved the team, and the city was not going to give them a new stadium, and then boom. As soon as they went to the playoffs, they were like, "Oh yeah,
all right, we can look at it." Yeah, because the Kingdom was like an Astrodome type thing, where it was you were playing on concrete, and you had some green rug over it.
Oh my God!
Those old school. I couldn't imagine playing in some of those old school AstroTurf places where it was literally just concrete under you.
There was I was listening to another national ESPN radio show the other day, and they do that whole segment where it's like on this day, and it was in 1968. The first game was played in the Astrodome.
Yep,
and that was like 5-6 days ago.
Yeah,
so it was like the anniversary of it.
Oh, the Astrodome. The Astrodome is the only place that I know that had its own rug Zamboni. Because Frank Zamboni, the guy that actually built the Zamboni, designed a Zamboni for the AstroTurf, where it literally was like a giant vacuum that they drove around. It was in the same shape of like you see the Zamboni on the ice. If you want to see a picture of it, just type in Houston Astros and Zamboni, and I bet it'll come back with it from the Astrodome. It was an amazing little marvel to see, but I think it was more of a gimmick really than to take care of anything really. But it was cool looking. It was different. Let's just say that. Other baseball news from the New York Yankees: DJ LeMahieu has been DFA'd. So that means he has been designated for assignment. He still had $11 million left on his contract when the Yankees let him go. So if he goes through the waiver wires and nobody picks him up, that means he'll get an $11 million check pretty soon in his hand. So that's big news. I thought he was going to work out fairly well there, but the injury bug got to him, and he just has not been putting up the numbers this season. So I'm not shocked by the move. And it's the Yankees, so they're not really worried about, handing out $11 million. Underneath, just like the Dodgers, just like the Cubs. If you go to Yankee Stadium and you go to the basement of Yankee Stadium, there's a basement there. They'll tell you there's not, but believe me, there's a basement there. And if you go to that basement, right underneath the pitching mound, they have a machine. And that machine prints money. So the Yankees are not worried at all about handing $11 million to somebody. They will just make that up in hot dog sales next week.
Hot dog sales.
So it's So hopefully LeMahieu finds somewhere to land. I bet he does land somewhere. It might not be this season, but I would say it is because I think he still's got something in the tank. And some team that is looking for a push that's lost either a first or third baseman, they'll give him a shot. I don't think anybody will pick him up from the waiver wire to pick up that DFA contract, but I think they'll let him go through and let him get into, the free agency mode and then start negotiating with him. Because I don't think people want to pay that salary. But after that salary is already gone, free agent, have discussions. So I can see that happening to him.
So if somebody picks him off the waiver, he gets $11 million, and it's just for this season.
I do believe it's for the rest of this season. Yeah, I do not think he is. The contract is not going into next season, so it will be for the rest of this season.
And we're looking at 70.
We got 70-something-ish left for most teams because we're at the All-Star break, which is usually about 10 games past the halfway point.
Wow.
So, I think he'll get somebody. Somebody will go after him. Somebody that is on the edge, on the cusp, that's like, if we can get one guy, get us a little more hits, I think we got it. So I think we'll see that, but I think it'll be more of like, okay, for the rest of this season, how about $3 million? Because you already got $11 million from the Yankees. You got paid. So if you want to just add a little more to this, how about come play for us?
So let's say you're a Major League Baseball player and forget about getting a ring. You just want to go to the city and play. Where do you go?
Ooh, me.
And I know you're wearing a Padres jersey right now.
I'm a huge Cubs fan, and I love Wrigley. But if I'm looking at everything, the build of team, where you want to go, what you want to do, where you think the future could be, Diamondbacks, I don't think be a bad spot, other than their stadium's hot because it doesn't have air conditioning. So, no, I'll talk myself out of that one. I got to play in air conditioning if it's going to be that hot. Yeah, get me inside if it's going to be that hot.
That's funny.
I don't know if I'd want to hit up any of the California teams because you got a lot of income tax you got to pay there. Yeah. It's a pretty crowded area. I couldn't imagine dealing with the traffic out there. So, no, don't want to go there.
I'm going to tell you right now, though. I don't want to say our fan base, but the panhandle of Florida, they do not like Cali.
No, I'm fine with California in general. Been many, many times. Place I wouldn't want to live. It's not a place I would want to live personally because, I'm not used to making a whole lot of money, and things out there are crazy expensive. Like, gas, like $5 a gallon gas. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, no, thank you. So, let's think.
Trade in your Jeep for something a little more economical.
Well, yeah, you got to trade in the Jeep. Go get something that's like an electric car, maybe. They give you a little bit of tax breaks. Oh, no. Actually, you should have seen me one time when I just drove a Mini Cooper. My big old body inside of a Mini Cooper. That was an interesting little drive where I was like, this is a cute little car. I don't need it. No thanks. Because it was fun. It was one of those like, hey, test drive the car and we'll give you a $20 gift card to somewhere. It's like, okay, cool. Let's pull in test drive car. Oh, yeah. Cool car. Did not fit in it at all.
The weirdest thing I ever had was a friend of mine in college. She had a Mazda Miata, and I'm 6'3". And my knees were on the dashboard.
Oh, probably cramming into the dash. That was similar with the Mini Cooper for me. I had a box top at the time, so it was a flat top. But my Mohawk would have been just like rubbing the roof. I bet if I had that car and drove it around for a few years, you could look at the roof and go, "Oh, look, there's a hair stain up there. Wow, this is a short car on the inside," and it kind of is. So the big thing for me. 4th of July. I'm a huge 4th of July fan. And one of the things that I do love about the 4th of July, the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Now, I did not get to watch it this year because I was not in the country. I was out traveling and I didn't have a whole lot of TV. But I did get the good news. Joy Chestnut did win the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. 70 and a half hot dogs, 10 minutes. 70 and a half hot dogs, 10 minutes. That is, I don't know if I could probably get maybe like 20 and feel awful.
So there's a place, I'm from Louisiana, okay? and there's a place in Metairie, and they have multiple locations now. It's a pizza joint. I'm not going to advertise for them or anything like that. But they have, if you can eat like their massive slice that they have, they'll give it to you for free, and they'll give you. They'll like put your picture up on the wall and your name.
Like give you a T-shirt.
And give you a T-shirt and everything like that. And I was like, well, you know what? What's the deal with competitive eating? So I looked up like what they do, how they train and everything, and I was like, it just doesn't.
They train.
Well, not only do they pump weights.
Oh, like pro athletes, they train.
Oh yeah, they pump weights. They eat certain ways and everything, and I was like, it just doesn't sound like healthy. And I was like, I don't think I could do that. Yeah,
it's not. I mean, let's face it. A lot of like pro athlete stuff's probably not really healthy for the body to begin with.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, you're beating your body. I mean, not saying competitive eating's not beating your body. You're beating your body just in a different way. Yeah,
from inside
just a total different way of beating it. But you are still beating that body. So it's like crazy. Like seeing some of these like records I went over it before we left, some of the records out there, and I was like, man, how do some of these people do this? Like 100 wings in like 15 minutes or something.
So Joey Chestnut, not just like, well, I know he sponsored somebody else other than Nathan's Hot Dogs.
That's why he wasn't in it last year.
Yeah,
because he did the one of the fake hot dog peoples.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say the name of it. We're not gonna
fake hot
advertise
dogs.
them.
I'm just gonna say fake hot dogs because that's what they are. They're not real hot dogs. Don't call them hot dogs.
But let me tell you, he does some sponsorships here and there, and he flew to Vegas, and they had a chicken eating contest in Vegas, and he was involved in that, and of course he won.
Well, yeah, why not?
Yeah. Chicken.
Let's see. Patrick Burratelli, he finished second, 10 minutes, 46 and a half hot dogs. Man.
So from 70 and a half to 46
and a half is the gap between 1 and 2.
So that's 24. Wow.
That's a lot of hot dogs that you've got.
Difference.
If you're going to try to catch up, Mr. Bartoli, you gotta expand that stomach a little bit more, I'm going to say, because he also won the contest last year when Chestnut was not in it.
I wonder if there's any more women still competing, because there have been women in the past.
The women's winner, I have it right here. They do them both at the same time. They have gals sitting on one side, guys on the other. And
at the same time?
At the same time, yeah. The same 10 minutes, they do, male, female.
Yeah.
Previous champions are always in the middle. Everybody else goes down the sides. And it went to Mickey Sudo. She won with 33 hot dogs. Finishing second in the women's bracket was Michelle Lesko with 22 3/4 hot dogs. Sudo has won 11 of the last 12 Nathan's eating competitions.
Wow. Marry that woman.
Exactly. Well, I don't know if she knows how to cook, but she know how to eat. And if you know how to eat, you probably know how to cook, because you got to cook before you eat it.
And
most of the time.
Are all of them doing the Joey Chestnut where they dip the bun in water?
Yeah. If you watch,
they all do
if you just watch most everybody,
they're all doing it.
They're all doing it.
Yeah.
You'll see some of them. They'll like remove the hot dog, shove hot dog, and then go bun. Because I think the theory on that is, because the bun is kind of doughy, you can at least get the hot dog down quick,
yeah.
And then you can just sit there and kind of think and chew on, those awful, yeasty type buns.
So did you hear about the thing with Usain Bolt?
No, what did he do?
Oh yeah, no,
all right,
no. What it was is they said if Joey Chestnut and Usain Bolt were to eat just one hot dog and then run the 100 meters, that Usain Bolt would not even be close, because Joey Chestnut eats one hot dog in 3-point-something seconds, I think.
I mean, to get to 70 in 10 minutes, you're doing 7 hot dogs in a minute.
Yeah, so that's 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But if he eats just one, when he starts off and just eats one, it's 3-point-something seconds, right?
Yeah.
And then if he runs the 100 meters in let's say 19 seconds, it's 22 seconds. And Usain Bolt is slow on the hot dog eating, and then he runs 10 second, 100 meters. He's not going to beat Joey Chestnut eating one hot dog and then run 100 meters.
All right, everybody. Coming up next, our great friend here, Alan Watson, owner of Golf Plus, James Fife, LSU Jeff, BC.
Taking your hot takes, rants, and takedowns. Let's hear it on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. The Paul Feinbaum Show.
First of all, this thing with the court and college sports is getting uglier and uglier by the day. What's your solution to this stuff, Coach?
Well, my solution really doesn't matter because these folks seem like they know what they're doing, don't they?
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday afternoon. The remainder of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine and 87 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. For tonight, mostly clear skies and a low near 81. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high around 87. For Sunday, a possibility of thunderstorms and a high of 88. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Want to bet on sports but no clue where to start? Millions of players are already making moves on Hard Rock Bet. Your friends might be winning. Why not you? Bet with confidence. Bets by real players help guide your picks. Go with the crowd and cash in on the wins. Any pick that catches your eye. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Transmitting from their CBC Construction Studio. For everything in the world of golf, it's the Watson Report. Thursdays at 4:20 with Alan Watson from Golf Plus. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. James Fife, LSU Jeff, Bone Crusher here taking care of you on this beautiful Friday afternoon from Panama City Beach. Call the show, text the show, 850-215-6290. And now on the phone line with us, great friend of the show, great friend of the studio, Alan Watson, the owner of Golf Plus. Mr. Watson, how is your Friday?
It feels good because I didn't eat 70 hot dogs, so I'm gastrointestinally fine right now.
How many hot dogs can you eat, Alan Watson, in 10 minutes?
I mean, the most I've ever attempted to eat, and for just normal purposes, not for any contest or anything, was like maybe 3 chili dogs or something like that. I don't know how many I could eat. I'm not a real big guy, and I don't really want to test fate and see. I mean, I probably could put down 4 or 5 if I was really hungry, but you know, the numbers that these guys and gals get to is I mean, obviously it's a contest, but even still, it seems physically impossible when you talk about the numbers, right? I mean, it just sounds ridiculous.
What's the strangest thing you've ever seen somebody eat on a golf course?
Oh, on a golf course. Well, you know, usually golf course fare is kind of the same at most courses, right? So you're going to have hot dogs like we talked about. Maybe you're going to have a burger, a chicken sandwich, maybe a salad or something. I've never seen anything like super odd because, again, most courses are going to serve kind of the same stuff. But, yeah, I wish I had a really good answer for you. I wish I could tell you somebody ate an ostrich egg or something like that. Just not true. Yeah, I mean, I could just make something up, but let's don't do that.
Well, actually, that was what we were doing today because I've been out of town for the last 2 weeks. So the people are supposed to call in and tell me what happened in the world of sports. You can either tell me a truth or a lie. So if you've got something ready, Alan, you can either tell me a truth or a lie about sports. If not, we'll just talk the Genesis Scottish Open.
So let's just skip to the Scottish Open because I wasn't prepped for that other question. But anyway, that's okay.
That's all right, Alan. So, all right, Scottish Open from the Genesis.
Different.
Woo. Okay, so right now, looking at the scoreboard, Chris Goddard, -11 on the score, had a -9 today. That -9 is kind of standing out to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can go 8, 9, or 10 under in one day, that's really impressive. I know Scheffler did it a few weeks ago at one of the events. And, that's just golfing your ball at that point. And sometimes it's a combination of good luck and good fortune, and sometimes it's a shorter golf course, or maybe there's some reachable par 5, things like that. I've looked at this course a little bit. It's definitely more of a modern design. So it's not the classic Scottish or British, link-style course that you think of. So it could be that some of these guys are feeling comfortable there. But, again, a lot of these guys that are on the top of this leaderboard, most of them are European players or at least, worldly players, not necessarily Americans. So, but, yeah, I mean, to shoot 9 under, I don't care what golf course, I don't care what conditions, that's golfing your ball at that point.
Do they have different kind of setups, or is there something just ornately different about, say, European golf courses versus like what we would find here in the States?
Yeah, so a lot of times over in Europe, a lot of times especially in Great Britain, in England, in Scotland, Ireland, what you're going to see is more link-style courses where you're not going to see the trees. You're going to have more rolling hills. You're going to have a lot of blind shots. You're going to have a lot of mounds and things on the sides of the fairways. This particular golf course actually has trees on it, so it's not a traditional links course. Like I said, it's more of a modern design. Tom Doak designed it, who's an American designer, and it is, it's just kind of, I wouldn't say it's totally unique for over there, but it is more unique. It's not the traditional golf course that we think of when we think of golf over there. And one of the reasons why that's kind of important when you talk about link-style golf and all is because it's awfully windy. This golf course is on the coast. And so you've got a lot of water, a lot of wind, and when you don't have a ton of trees at these type of golf courses, then you don't have a lot of protection from that wind. And so it can really, especially when bad weather was to roll in, which I don't look like they've had any today, but when bad weather rolls in, that can make those golf courses really, really difficult.
So you said the wind, and I got a question here for you because I'm not very super familiar with golf. But can you use like maybe a heavier weight ball that could cut through the wind, or are all the balls the same that have to be used for, tournaments, opens like this?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily play a heavier ball, but what you might do is you might play a ball that has a different dimple pattern and a different design that's designed to fly through the wind better. And then the other thing that you'll see people do, I say people, we're talking about professionals here. Most amateurs don't have enough clubs to do this, but the professionals a lot of times will put lower launching golf clubs in the bag for a major that's played, like the Scottish Open, the British Open, those types of things. So they won't replace their entire set, but they might put a 2-iron in the bag instead of a 5-wood because the 5-wood's going to launch it so high in the air that the wind's going to affect it, where the 2-iron's going to hit it lower and get it through the wind, and they can play different types of shots. So a lot of times you see these guys have a couple of different type clubs in their bag that they might not have if they were playing here in America.
So basically the practice would be to hit the ball lower. You're not going to get as much distance because you're not getting the height, but you're hoping to not have that knockdown effect is what I'm taking from you here.
Well, you believe it or not, sometimes they get even more distance over there when you're hitting under the wind because the wind might push it, or also those courses are a lot of times, if it's not raining and stuff, those courses can get really crazy dry, so then the ball will run for days. So what you'll see is, I know you said you're not as familiar with golf, but like, for instance, if I had 180 yards into a green, I might be hitting a 5 or a 6-iron in, and I'm going to carry it all the way and then get it stopped within a few feet of landing. Over there, because of the wind and the craziness and the weather, you might actually hit a different club, hit it much, much lower. So instead of a 5-iron, I might be hitting like a 7 or an 8-iron and just trying to like run it for days. In other words, it might land well short of the green, but the conditions of the course and the wind and the ground might then carry that ball further and run it up onto the green, where I would never try to do that here in America. You would never try to land it short and run it on. It just doesn't work that way. So it's a completely different style of golf sometimes over there, depending on the course and depending on the weather. So that's why guys like Matt Fitzpatrick and Rory McIlroy and, those guys who grew up over there, they have a big advantage over the American players who only get to play over there once or twice a year, where they're not used to it and they haven't really prepared for that.
All right. Who is a great young and upcoming golfer that you have got your eyes on?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their eyes on Ludwig Oberg. He is the man. He is the hot young player, has been for the last several months, really for the last year and a half. He's the guy who is going to eventually win big and win a bunch of tournaments. I mean, he's kind of the next Rory, next Xander, next whatever. He's that guy that's waiting in the wings to be the next superstar of the PGA Tour.
Swedish.
Yeah, he is.
Negative.
Go ahead.
-8 so far for the tournament. -5 today for Mr. Oberg.
Yeah, he's only a few shots back, and don't be surprised if he's not. I mean, again, he's the guy. Like every week, if he tees it up, if he's in the tournament, he has a chance to win. He's that good.
Consistent.
Is there a rule difference, or are there unwritten rules, like when you're playing in Europe, that differ from the United States that, say, a U.S. player would want to know before he went and played in Europe?
The only thing I can think of is the golf ball that you mentioned earlier. And I don't know if this is still true. I'd have to check the rules because I haven't been over there to play, so it's not relevant. But they used to have a slightly smaller golf ball that you could use over there that was not legal here in the States, but I don't know if they've since changed that, because just like we have the USGA over here, they have the Royal and Ancient over there that makes all the rules. And so I would have to, beef myself up on the recent, whether there's been any rule changes or not. But the ball is the only thing I can think of.
So when you're golfing, what is your preference? Pants or shorts?
Well, I'm typically a pants guy just because I'm so used to wearing them every day in the golf shop, and so I just like to wear pants. That being said, as hot as it's been lately, like yesterday I went and snuck out and played a little golf with some friends over at the Santa Rosa Golf Country Club, and that was awesome. Thank you, Travis, for hosting. And that I wore shorts yesterday, but I always get a lot of funny looks when I wear shorts on a golf course, especially if there's a lot of, let's just say older or stuffier folks, because my legs are heavily tattooed, just like my arms. And so the arms draw enough attention, but then when I'm wearing shorts and my arms and legs are exposed and there's lots of tattoos, that tends to make me stand out like a sore thumb on a golf course. So sometimes if I'm going to somewhere more like some country clubs, I'll wear pants. But yesterday it was shorts, and with the heat, the shorts was the right call.
Wait, there's prude people on a golf course?
Dude, there's prude people everywhere. Golf course, but I ain't one of them.
So you have two locations. One's in Dothan and one's over here on Richard Jackson.
Yep.
How many days do you spend over here on the beach?
So I spend most of my time here on the beach. We're actually about to close that Dothan store after almost 37 years. We've got about two more weeks and we're closing that store. I've been in discussions with several people have expressed interest in wanting to purchase the store. But to be honest with you, my wife and I really talked about it and thought about it, and we kind of have just come to the decision that we just don't really want to sell it. We don't want to, risk giving the name to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And then what if that's different than what we do here, and how does that work? And, it's not like a McDonald's where you're selling a franchise and you have no choice but to follow all the rules. I could sell somebody my store and they could take it in a completely different direction that doesn't really work for what I'm trying to do down here. So for us, we just rather, we're just going to sell everything out of it and sell the real estate and focus on what we're doing down here at the beach. And so 37 years was a good run, and we're happy with that. And but a lot of people that follow our social media know that we had been talking about closing it for a while now, and we're finally have reached that day. So, but I'm not super sad about it. I mean, it's crazy to think, and I will be sad on that last day. I promise you, I will be. But you know, life has funny ways of kind of ebbing and flowing, and I'm on my second wife. I'm on a different career path than I originally thought I was going to be on 30 years ago, and you know, I'm okay with the fact that life doesn't always go exactly the way we planned, and sometimes that's for the better, right? So I'm okay with it. It's frustrating when I hear from customers who are like, what are we going to do? Like, I mean, you know, we love this golf shop. Yep. Somebody else will come along and do something, and good for them, and maybe they'll do it even better than we did it. So I'm not worried about it. But I do feel bad for the customers. I do feel bad for my staff that have to go get other jobs and all that. But I gave them plenty of notice, so don't everybody like attack me and be like, what? You're just telling your staff? No, they've known for a while. So it's all good. But yeah, the store here that we have on the beach, right next to Firefly Shops at Edgewater, we've been open almost 5 years now. That store just continues to grow and grow and grow, and we're working really hard on growing our internet presence as well. And yeah, we're looking forward to the future, and we'll always celebrate the past, but you know, that's the past now.
I ate dinner over near you at American Charlie last night, and the funniest thing I ever saw was there was a lady and a gentleman outside of American Charlie, and one lady, it said, free tonight is what her sign said. And the guy had a sign, and it said micro wrestling.
Yes, I've seen that over there at the comedy place, yeah.
It was little people wrestling at the comedy club, the Panama City Comedy, and I was like, oh my God. I had to ask, what do you, and the fact that she had a sign that all it said was free tonight, I was like, what in the world is going on here?
I figured it might have been midget tossing.
Oh, no.
That's not part of my business model.
No.
I'm a capitalist. I'm a capitalist. I'm a for-profit business. I want my employees and everybody else to get paid. So, yeah, you won't see any free signs in that store, but whatever. So I digress.
Is there any hot item at Golf Plus that's really been kind of, I don't want to say flying off the shelves, but has been really selling a lot lately?
Yeah, we've been doing well. The rangefinders have been kind of hot this year. Like speakers and things. A lot of people are using the magnetic speakers that have like GPS on them and stuff. So that's been kind of cool. I would say we always carry a really wide selection of hats, and so we do really well with that. In fact, I have people that come down to the beach a couple times a year from all over the country, and they always say, you know, they'll say, oh, man, we always come to your shop because we know you're going to have, like, really cool, interesting, different hats, you know, and stuff like that. So that's been good. Iron sales have been pretty brisk this year, and, like, Titleist just announced a new iron, so we have the new T-Series iron demo fitting heads in, so they're not available yet, but you can come in and get fitted for them, and we can pre-order. So I think that's going to continue that run on hot iron sales. And then the big seller this year has been lab putters, which is the zero torque category of putters, which has been kind of taking the golf world by storm, especially when J.J. Spawn won the U.S. Open using a lab putter a few weeks ago. That really kind of ramped up the interest. So we've got a ton of those in stock. And, yeah, lab putters is big this year.
So do, like, sales of clubs, so like a certain type of club, say like a 9-iron, your driver, things like that, do they mostly come in like big runs, big streaks of, you know, time periods? Like, you know, for some reason last year we sold a bunch of drivers, and then this year we sold a bunch of 9-irons.
No, I mean, the irons are typically sold in sets, so that's kind of like if you're buying the whole set, so that's different. But it's pretty balanced. Most years it's kind of about the same number of drivers, about the same number of putters, about the same number of iron sets. It's just, I think a lot of times it just really depends on where people are in their life cycle of their clubs. And then obviously there's economic factors too. You know, there are times when we see just all sales rise, like what happened during COVID. Yeah, we kind of never know. Like from day to day, you just never know if it's going to be a big day with one thing. I remember 2 Saturdays ago, I was working by myself, and I think I sold like 7 fairway woods that day, 7 fairway metals, which is just weird to sell all these single fairway medals in one day. I mean, that would be, it's not weird to anybody else, but it's weird to me because, again, usually it's more balanced, right? Like you said, you might do some irons, might do a driver, might do a couple putters. I know a couple of days ago in the shop down here, we sold a bunch of putters all in one day. So it was just putter day for whatever crazy reason. So, yeah, it does kind of come in streaks, but also there's a balance to it. It would be strange if we went, a month and sold nothing but drivers and no other clubs. That would be extremely odd. That's just not how it works. So, one of the things we're doing, hopefully down the road, is we're trying to grow physically and get a bigger space. We love where we are locationally, but we'd like to get a bigger space because we have so many people coming in asking about used clubs, speaking of clubs that sell. And we have a ton of used clubs, but they're all in our warehouse for our online business. We just don't have the physical space for them in the store down here. So, I'm just trying to find a bigger store front and a bigger, physical location so we can grow and help our customers get what they're looking for.
Oh, wow.
All right, Alan, any other words of wisdom to leave the people with?
The best advice I ever got in golf was a guy named Joe Masters that used to work for me. Loved that guy. And every time somebody would walk out the door as they were leaving, he would always say, fairways and greens. And that's the best advice I can give to any golfer is go hit the fairway and go hit the green.
Hey, quick question, Alan. When you're out there in your shorts and the tattoos are flying, people turn their nose up at you. When you start swinging that club, they shut up, right? When they see your game.
They know I got some game. I mean, I'm not the best golfer out there, but they know I can play okay. And my swing looks better than my score. So that way they at least think that I deserve to be there and belong there. So yeah, for sure. Good question.
All right, Alan, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us on this Friday. Hopefully we'll get you back next Thursday, and we'll get things back into the usual pattern. Have a great weekend, my friend.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me be on the air. I appreciate it.
All right, Alan Watson, owner of Golf Plus. Go visit him. Shops at Edgewater right here in beautiful Panama City Beach. Coming up next, we will discuss the Braves.
The Red 7T studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
LeBron's staying, but they want to be in the sweepstakes for Giannis. That's what struck me here is, hey, Milwaukee has traded a big man to Los Angeles before, and it worked out really well for the Lakers. Can they get Giannis? Would they be involved in that picture when you clear LeBron's salary off the books?
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday afternoon. The remainder of the day, possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine and 87 with a gentle breeze at 11 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. For tonight, mostly clear skies and a low near 81. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high around 87. For Sunday, a possibility of thunderstorms and a high of 88. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
Looking for an unbeatable deal on a pre-owned ride? Head straight to Tommy Auto's 2209 West 15th Street. An amazing selection of quality used vehicles under $14,995. Our friendly sales team is geared up to help you discover the perfect match for your needs and your wallet. Plus, we guarantee a hassle-free experience. Buy here, pay here. Financing options are available, and everyone is approved. You'll find incredible value and service that shines. You gotta come to Tommy Auto's 2209 West 15th Street. Get
ready to connect. ESPN Northwest Florida is thrilled to introduce the newest rock stars to the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce.
Welcome to the Beach Chamber. Commercial recreation specialists, Daystar Cleaning and Restoration, Dermatology Associates Skin and Cancer Center, Florida Ceiling PCB, Welsh Family Medicine PCB, and Team Don and Bubba with eXp Realty.
We're here to champion your success and connect you with this amazing community.
Congratulations from ESPN Northwest Florida.
And the Panama City Beach Chamber of Commerce, reaching Bay County and beyond.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. God, guns, and wrestling. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is the Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. James Fife taking care of you here on this Friday afternoon. We got LSU Jeff and we got the Bone Crusher on the board. We are having a beautiful, beautiful Friday right here in Panama City Beach. And ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. And tonight, this Friday, the Braves taking on the Cardinals in St. Louis. Pre-game festivities start right after the Afternoon Underdogs, 6 o'clock. First pitch will be 7:15. This will be a 3-game set over the weekend, and this will take us into the All-Star break. So 3 games, then we got a nice little break for the All-Stars. And, well, we're here. It's a tough conversation, but sometimes you got to have tough conversations in life. The Braves, 40-51 now on the season. 13.5 games behind the Phillies. 10 games behind the Giants in the wild card. Not pretty pictures. While I was gone, played 14 games. 3-1 during those 14 games since June 25th.
3-11.
Yep, 3-11.
3-11, yeah.
I did not put an extra 1 in there.
You drop that 1.
Drop that 1. Let's just drop that 1. Let's make it 3-1. It'll look way better if we just say it was 3-1 while I was gone. Outscored 42-70.
42-70?
To 70. Yes, that's not good.
That's two runs per game because you got 14 games, 28. Yeah. What you guys outscored by. That's not good. And then, I mean, you blink and they went from 3rd to 4th place, and then everybody's kind of like, I mean, there's people out there that don't know, is it the Marlins or is it the, what's Washington, the Nationals? That nobody even knows who's in last place. I mean, that's how much they were focused at not looking down below them, that they were just looking up to the Phillies and the Mets, right?
Yeah, and during that same 14-game span, the Marlins, 10-4.
Yeah.
That one shocked me a little bit.
Yeah.
3 games over this time period, the Braves scored no runs. Got shut out. 4 games, only scored 1 run. You got to score some runs, guys. Spencer Strider last night, 6 2/3 innings, 11 strikeouts, 3 earned runs. That's not great, but 3 earned runs, that's still good enough to get you up there and, have, a nice little game. 11 strikeouts with it, go into the extra innings, and what do the Braves do? They don't score in extra innings. That has been a plague on them this season. I am not sure why they cannot score in extra innings, but if you go look at the Braves in the extra innings, it is not a pretty picture at all. So it's a situation. Yeah, I will give it that. So the Braves individually, while I was gone, let's just look at some numbers. I know batting averages don't tell you the whole story, but they do tell you a story. So Michael Harris, 12 games played over that 14-game span. Halfway under the Mendoza line, batting 100.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
I don't know how you can play in 12 games out of 14 batting 100 and still have a spot in the lineup. I mean, I get it. He's one of your better outfielders. You got him out there in center field. Good center fielder. But, I mean, if your bat is going to be such a liability that you're talking batting 100, You got to find another spot for him.
Minor leagues.
Spot is the bench. Exactly.
Minor leagues.
Yeah, that spot is the bench.
Oh, my God.
4 hits in 12 games. That's not going to get you too far. This one surprised me. Now, I know Ozuna is not an average guy. He's not high on average, but he is a bopper. But when you got a 146 and you played in 13 games, again, a picture that is not pretty at all. 1 home run in that time period. When, if you're looking at him before this, he was usually getting a home run in about every single stand of 3 games. And we're talking a 14-game set here, and you come out with 1. Again, not a pretty picture. Ronald Acuna came crashing back to earth, apparently, while I was gone. Because before I left, he was batting, somewhere around that 350 mark, 380 mark. He was just lit up. On fire. And in the last 14 games he's played in 13, a 182 average. Ooh. A slug of 318. Ooh. This is a guy that you're relying on to do fairly well. Everybody said, he's the guy. And I think he is the guy. But you go through these streaks, I get it. Out for the ACL that he tore last year, came back totally on fire. I figured he'd come back down to earth. You do. Baseball is a long season. You play a lot of games. You go through stretches. You go through streaks. And right now, it is a streak that I'm sure he would like to bust out of, because that is not a pretty picture right there. Did collect 8 walks, so maybe seeing the ball a little bit, because he usually isn't a high walk guy. So if I can see him getting some more walks, maybe he's just trying to see the ball a little better. But, man, and if you look at it, the guys that have done well, and I can only say a couple of guys in the last couple of games have been looking good. Matt Olson, a 321 over 14 games. Nick Allen, a 275 over the 14 games. And Austin Riley, a 263 over those 14 games. Nobody else on the Braves batting over 250 in the last 14 games. That is stats that are not going to lend you to a whole lot of runs, because you got to get hits to get on base. You got to get hits to move the next guy over. You got to get hits to score runs. And baseball is a sport in which you win the game by scoring more runs than the other guy. So what you got to do, Braves? You got to get them runs going. Now let me try to find real quick the Braves and some pitching stats for you, because it is slightly a little bit better for a few guys, but there are a few guys out there that are not looking the best when it comes to the Braves and the pitching over the last, I can get a 7 days real quick here. So 7 days, Strider looking great. Had a great game last night. Had a great game about a week ago. 2 games in that time period. Has an ERA of a 4. That's not awful, especially with the 3 earned runs that he had last night while collecting those 11 Ks. Now, if you want to look at where I think the problem lays within the Braves in their pitching, you got to have more starting arms. You can't run Fuentes out there. He is just not it. You've got to find some starters. You got to carry, I've been saying this for the last few seasons, you have got to carry at least 8 starting pitchers. Now, they're not all going to be on your major league roster. You're going to have some of those guys being ready to go in AAA. You just have to, because, look at it nowadays, especially with Major League Baseball a couple of years ago instituting the 10-game IL. Basically, that gets a guy to miss 1 game. Because if you can fudge his second start, you're only missing 1 start because you got 5 guys in the rotation. So you're going to see that used more often, and you have seen it used more often, which means you're going to bring up more guys to pitch, which means you have to have more pitchers. You've got to have 8 Major League ready pitchers to be starting pitchers if you want to be competitive. Look at the Dodgers. Now, the Dodgers have fallen off, but look at the Dodgers. Look at the Giants. Kind of sort of look at the Yankees. They're not all the way there yet, but they are starting to see this happening. That you just have to go out there and you got to spend big money on a guy that you're like, look, we like you. You're going to pitch in the majors at some point this season because somebody's going to go down. We all know it. we'll give you a nice little sweetener deal, maybe a little bit more money than somebody else will pay you, but you're probably going to be in the minor leagues for 60 to 70 games this year. Now, there's going to be a lot of guys that are going to bulk at that. Because what do you want to do? You want to pitch in the big boy league. So you got to have that build. And I think some guys, especially some of the older guys who are kind of getting out of it, not getting out of it, but aging out of it. You know, you see them kind of getting into those positions right now. And I think that'll help, move their careers on. All right, coming up next, we will discuss what is going on with the NFL and the NFL Players Association. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, anyplace, anywhere.
The sports talk and live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite sports talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. Clear tonight with a low near 81 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine tomorrow morning, a light breeze and a temperature of 87. About the same in the afternoon and evening around 88 with a likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunshine. A mixture of mostly sunshine and scattered thunderstorms Sunday and hot around 89. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
Looking for an unbeatable deal on a pre-owned ride? Head straight to Tommy Autos, 2209 West 15th Street. An amazing selection of quality used vehicles under $14,995. Our friendly sales team is geared up to help you discover the perfect match for your needs and your wallet. Plus, we guarantee a hassle-free experience. Buy here, pay here. Financing options are available, and everyone is approved. You'll find incredible value and service that shines. You gotta come to Tommy Autos, 2209 West 15th Street.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Now, the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are tuned in to the Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. James 5. Hi, everybody. LSU Jeff. Bone Crusher.
Hey, Pookie.
Taking care of all of you here on this Friday afternoon. We are heading into the weekend. Make sure that you have a great one and a safe one out there on the weekend. You can call the show. You can text the show, 850-215-6290, and that phone number is on the Red 7Ts hotline. Get a hold of Red 7Ts on their website, or you can give them a call, 850-612-7007, and we are coming live from the CBC Construction Studios. Visit their website, cbcconstruction.com, or you can call them 850-747-3815 if you need any kind of construction work done, or if you are looking for a great job out there right now, be sure to contact CBC Construction. And we are streaming on Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, and YouTube. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you can keep up with what we are doing here, ESPN Northwest Florida. And you can download our app by visiting your Google Play Store, by visiting the App Store on your Apple app. Type in 104.3 ESPN. You'll see us right there. Hit the download button. Take us with you everywhere you go. Now, the big news for me, and this was news, not just kind of sports news, but actual news that came out while I was gone. So the NFL and the NFL Players Association struck a confidential agreement that hid details of an arbitration decision from players, including a finding that league executives have urged team owners to reduce guaranteed player compensations. Ooh, that doesn't sound good, guys. That sounds like a little bit of tampering to me. On January 14th, arbitrator Christopher Droney ruled there wasn't sufficient evidence of collusion by owners in contract negotiations with quarterbacks after the record fully guaranteed contract for Deshaun Watson in 2022. Any such collusion to keep salaries down would violate the collective bargaining agreement between the NFL and the union. So basically, what they said was, well, you guys talked about it, but you didn't agree to anything. So I guess it's okay because you didn't agree to do it, even though you talked about it behind closed doors, didn't let the players know about it. Not a good look. That's something that needs to be, looked at, fixed. But Droney concluded that the NFLPA showed by a clear preponderance of evidence that Commissioner Roger Goodell and the league's general counsel, Jeff Pash, urged owners to restrict guaranteed money in player contracts. And on Tuesday night, nearly 6 months after Droney's decision, the NFLPA, led by Executive Director Lloyd Howell Jr., decided to seek an appeal for the ruling. So ESPN was told about this. That's not good, guys. That is a business colluding with other businesses to keep salaries down. That's not why you got a union, guys. You got a union, guys, to make money. That's why the union's there, to have your best interest at heart. So this story came out a few days ago. And then the very next day, we get some more kind of news. The NFL Players Association Executive Director Lloyd Howell Jr. is working as a paid part-time consultant for the Carlyle Group, one of a select groups of league-approved equity firms who can seek up to 10% ownership in NFL franchises. So what that means is the NFL had a conversation with this here fella, the executive director of the NFL Players Association, Lloyd Howell Jr., and during that meeting, the NFL, nor Mr. Howell, decided to inform players that, hey, we had a conversation about keeping your guys' guaranteed money down. Not a pretty look. Howell joined the firm in March of 2023, 3 months before being hired by the NFLPA to be the players' chief representative in these talks. So literally, the union went out and picked you. Hey, you're going to be the guy that's going to guide us through this next CBA. You're going to be the guy that is going to bring us to the promised land to help us make more money. I don't think that is the case, because if you look at it, he's in a firm that can own 10% of a team. 10% is not a lot of an NFL team, but it's still a good amount. And if you've got that 10%, you've got an interest in the team. You're worried about how much money you're making. You're also worried about how much money you're paying out. So why is this guy allowed to hold this job? He makes $3.5 million a year to represent the union. He makes almost $400,000 a year being a consultant for the Carlyle Group. This sounds very, very conflict-y, interest-y to me. Because that is not keeping a player's or all players' best interest in mind. Now, it should be because you're making way more money representing these NFL players than you are from the Carlyle Group. And you could separate from the Carlyle Group, right? You can just say, hey, guys, can't do this anymore. Sorry, I can't take your $400,000 because I am now working with the NFL Players Association. I am the representative. And in fact, a lawyer for the NFLPA, Jim Quinn, came up and said to him, hey, man, you know that this is kind of a conflict of interest, so you might want to step back from this? He said, okay, I'll think about it. And that was a few months ago. Nope, he's still there. This is a problem, guys. And you know how we found out that this meeting happened? We didn't learn it from the NFL. We didn't learn it from the NFL Players Association. We learned it from Pablo Torre finds out a podcaster. We're having podcasters breaking news on union topics. That is, this story, once you start getting into it, just keeps on going. It is a situation that the NFL Players Association, they need to get together. They need to have a vote. And those guys need to figure out, do we really want to keep this guy around? Because, I mean, they signed him. I'm sure he signed some kind of contract that said, I will represent you guys for a number of years. Now, hopefully the play union and the Players Association got a good lawyer to write this contract up. And hopefully this was a smart lawyer. And hopefully this lawyer knew to put a clause in there, because if you read a contract, how many clauses are in there? Lots.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully that lawyer knew to put a clause in there that, if you have a conflict of interest, we can null and void that contract of $3.5 million a year that we're giving you. So I have not read the contract, but it is a situation where if I'm the NFLPA, I am going to hire a lawyer to go read through that contract to see if we can get this guy gone. Not only that, what kind of money can you claw back out of it? Can you claw all of it back out for breach of contract when you knew that you were going to be doing this? That you knew that you even took the job afterward? I mean, that's totally a direct conflict of interest, knowing that, hey, I'm working for this guy, but I can go get some money from this guy that's a competition to what I'm doing, and I'll still be okay. Come on, guys. Let's think about this for a little while. All right, you guys, any thoughts on that?
You look angry.
I'm not happy with it.
I've never seen Fife this mad.
Oh, man.
No, it's not. This is going to be something that is going to affect the CBA rolling forward. Let's face it. Because this is going to put another stick in the craw of the players of, we can't trust those guys. We cannot trust the ownership. We cannot trust the NFL. We can't even trust our own union head. That is not going to lead to very nice and or productive conversations when it comes to billionaires and millionaires arguing about money. Because let's face it, the guys that own the teams, billionaires. And NFL minimum wage is going to be $1 million for a player here, I think, in the next season. So literally, we're having billionaires and millionaires arguing. So it is not going to end up pretty, because not only are millionaires and billionaires arguing, millionaires and billionaires are arguing about that thing they love the most.
Has the
money.
Has the minimum for a player in the NFL for 1 year, the minimum, has it broke 600 yet?
Yeah, it was
something?
it was 8.
Oh no!
50 like last year.
Oh my God!
It's going to be over $1 million during this CBA that expires. I think in the next 2-3 years, it will hit to $1 million.
You know, it was like 300 just like a few years ago, like 5-6 years ago.
It's been the bottom end has been climbing up fast, and that is something I'm happy that the union is doing, because for the longest time the unions were always okay. Let's keep this up to get the higher paid, and that's fine, and I get it, because the union is going to get more money from those guys that pay higher pays, because you take a certain percentage of your check. It goes to the union.
Yeah.
So the union's going to get more money out of a guy making $10 million a year than a guy making, $300,000 a year. But luckily, in the last CBA, the players actually got together and said, "Look, yeah, the big guys need to eat, but we got to take care of these little guys as well." And that is something that the NFL did, and smartly did, was to get those guys at the bottom of the barrel some more money, some more security. Because let's face it, average lifespan, not lifespan, average career span for an NFL player getting drafted in the 7th round,
Oh, God.
Year, 2 years maybe.
Yeah.
So if you can get $1 million at least for that year, that's going to be more life-changing money than $300,000.
To be honest with you, 4th rounders, 5 or 6 years, that's their average.
Yeah, even if they make it that long.
Yeah.
It's you've got that 4th round, you got 4 years guaranteed.
Yeah.
You've got that 4-year contract.
And then you get picked up by somebody, and then another team will pick you up, and then you have 1 and 1, and then you're done.
Yeah, and you might ride a practice squad somewhere now, because you can have veterans on practice squads now. So that's another change that happened in the last CBA that I thought was a good.
Yeah. Well, I hate to say there's two different sides to this, but there's not many people around that aren't. I mean, you're either, I don't want to say representing the players and then the teams. And, of course, a lot of conservatives, we'll just use the word conservatives here, most of them are anti-labor union. And that's what this is. The Players Association is a labor union. And they're looking at not really just so much as the owners being filthy rich, but as much as like, well, what does it take for them to, own or put all this money into a business and not be able to pull a big profit? I mean, because if you put percentages on $7 billion of an investment, let's say that they own like the whole team, you expect to get 14% off of that yearly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And if it gets below 10%, these people are like, why am I even owning a team anymore?
Yeah, they're going to be cutting stuff. They can't cut players.
I mean,
but you can cut, training staff, you can cut scouting, you can cut front office.
Yeah, that's, but, and the name that comes to mind right now that she got out, and it wasn't just her, but it was her brother also, is Jeannie Buss.
Yeah.
For the Lakers.
Yep.
She was like, number one, NBA is going down. It's not as much people watching, less profits. And she's in LA. She's in California. There's not good things happening out there right now.
And
so she got out.
And the CBA now for some of these, high end contracts, like Chet. Chet Holmgren signed a contract the other day, like
Max.
The rookie Max, 5 years. I wrote it down here. 5 years, $239 million over 5 years.
So
that's
40,
crazy numbers to me.
Is that 46, something like that?
And it's, I get it. An NBA team has less guys you got to pay. You got 14 guys on a roster, versus having 53 plus your practice squad and all those guys that you're carrying along as well. So I can understand why the NBA can hand out higher individual, but that's just crazy numbers to me on that.
Well, just think about it. 82 games in an NBA season, and then the playoffs are much more expanded than NFL is. I mean, NFL, all their eggs are in just I don't want to say a few baskets, because 17 games is a lot. And you do have a lot more teams going to the playoffs now. But think about all those games the NBA has. And do you know what ticket prices are? I mean,
crazy, especially if you get into playoffs. Crazy.
Well, the NBA, oh my God, I rarely pay for tickets going to an NBA game. And it's unreal the amount of money that people spend on that. And I can't even imagine what it is to be like courtside.
I don't even know if that's like a public knowledge what you pay. I'm sure you like got to call them and you're on like a secret phone line and they're like, okay, for you, $15,000 for one night.
You know, I was courtside once.
That would have been fun.
And I was like 11 or 12 years old. And I wasn't 6'3" yet, obviously. So I was a kid, you know. And I was courtside, and I'm pretty sure it was the Washington Bullets. That shows you how long ago that was, right in the 80s. And a 7-footer was sweaty, and he ran after the ball, and he fell over me. And I remember, like, you know, I'm getting all this sweat on me and everything. And that's
like the entirety of the sun was blocked out and everything for you.
Yeah, and I got sweated on by a 7-footer, and that's what I remember from the game. I don't remember the teams as much, really, or the players or anything like that, but I got sweated on by a 7-footer.
That is one of the cool things that I do like about the NBA is that openness down there.
Yeah.
Although that openness can sometimes lead to situations where a dad comes onto the floor.
Yeah.
And that doesn't go too well either. So it's one of those, it's a thing where the NBA needs to figure out a little bit better control, especially after a game there.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love the fact that it's literally kind of open to you being right there. Like you're literally a part of the action. That ball can come right to you. I've seen it.
And you got some toxic fans, man.
Yeah, and that's
people get in trouble. Right, you know, Russell Westbrook and all kind of players have gotten in trouble with mouthy, you know, fans and everything. I saw a video. I think it was today or yesterday. Anyway, it was a baseball pitch, and the guy threw it, and the person's videoing it behind home plate. And the ball was like a curveball, and it clocked at 104. And the ball came around and missed the catcher and the ump and hit right into the net when the guy's videoing it. And it was like, I mean, it was like, wow.
Right into your living room.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
So I used to do some scouting work for the Rays, and I always had seats right behind home plate.
Oh, wow.
Oh, they were great. It was all minor league baseball. You know, I wasn't doing any scouting at the major league level.
Yeah.
But it was great. You know, you wouldn't take the first row because, of course, they're selling that, you know, for good money, but they put you like in the 4th, 5th, 6th row, and you're just watching these dudes, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. It gave kind of a different perspective too, you know.
So where I'm from, I grew up in Metairie, Louisiana, and we had the New Orleans Zephyrs was actually in Metairie, you know.
Now they're the Baby Cakes.
Well, no, now they're gone.
Oh, they're gone now,
went to
too.
Wichita. Yeah, we lost the team, and now the stadium is empty. And they changed to the Baby Cakes because they were trying to get money for mascot, you know, memorabilia and, you know, jersey sales and all this kind of stuff. And it still didn't save the team, and they ended up moving to, I think it's Wichita, Kansas. They had just built a new baseball field and stadium. And our stadium is like really great, you know, in Metairie. But they had fireworks on a Friday night. They had bands play after the game, you know. And, you know, it's tough for some people to watch a whole 9-inning game and then watch like a band play afterwards. And what they would do is they put it in the outfield. The band was on the outfield, like in the stands, and all the fans, free concert, that you can go on the field.
Just sit out in the outfield?
No. Oh, yeah, in the outfield, yeah, mainly, yeah. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, the PTM I worked for did similar to that. They actually did a couple of concerts pregame even.
Oh, wow.
So it was a little bit easier because, you know, you don't have to stay out all night if a game goes extra, and it's like, hey, concert starts at 10:30, everybody. You know, that's a little bit late. But the only thing is it was Kentucky in the summer. And it's still hot out there, man. So some of those like concerts that started at like 3 in the afternoon.
So the most disappointing change that I've seen is the New Orleans Saints have a thing called Champion Square. It's right outside the Superdome. And it used to be you don't have to have a ticket to get into this area. And they had good bands playing on stage, and they sell, you know, beer and liquor and all that. on little booths and all that on the side, and a little bit of food and everything. And you just go in, and you don't need a ticket to the game. So it could be like fans like me. I would go down there. I'd go to Champion Square. I'd party with people who were going into the game, and then I'd walk to a bar, downtown or near the French Quarter or in the French Quarter, and go watch the game. And then they started doing this thing where it's like they check the bags and everything, right? And you have to have a ticket to get into Champion Square now.
Yeah.
So the crowd of I can't even think of how many tens of thousands of people could cram into Champion Square. Now they got.
That's just basically the people that got a ticket to the game now.
Exactly, and not all of them do it, because some people just show up right for kickoff and then go right in, and they don't party at Champion Square, and it's sad.
It's a lot of teams now are buying up the areas around the stadiums, and that's a good thing. But like the Cubs with Wrigleyville, they have like half of it open, and then half of it is for the people who have a game day ticket. So it was a little disappointing, and that's only 4 game days. So like if it's not game day, you can walk up and you can see all the you can see the statues, Ernie Banks and everybody. So it's like, what if I wanted to walk in here without a ticket? And they're like, no, I got to have a ticket on a game day.
So you've been to Cincinnati?
Yes.
So back in the 90s, I went to a Bengals game, and they had Pete Rose Way. And that's where all the bars are. And I thought was so cool was you went into one bar, and I've not seen a whole lot of places like this. You go into one bar, and it's connected to another bar and connected to another bar. And it's like you don't have to go back outside to go into the next door bar and all that. And so you're walking around, you're like, which bar's coolest or best or whatever, They're putting on music and just the, I was 20, something years old. So, of course you're looking at women. I'm sorry.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Pete Rose Way. I don't know what it looks like now. I'm sure everything.
Well, they've moved the stadium now.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
now 2 stadiums.
It was
it's not Riverfront anymore.
Yeah.
It's now Great American Ballpark and Brown Stadium, right next to each other. Beautiful stadiums. Been in both. Beautiful, but I'm just glad they got rid of the old concrete donut. Just was not a fan of any of those old concrete donuts. All right, we will keep on talking CBAs, but coming up next, we will talk a little bit about the NHL CBA. Way less drama on this one, I promise.
Your attention, please. ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag, stay out of the water, stick your toes in the sand, grab a cold drink, and listen to live sports.
Swung on, miss, strike 3.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Double play!
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T Studio Line.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. Clear tonight with a low near 81 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine tomorrow morning, a light breeze and a temperature of 87. About the same in the afternoon and evening around 88 with a likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunshine. A mixture of mostly sunshine and scattered thunderstorms Sunday and hot around 89. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Don't just stand there. Everything you need to turn $1 into an epic win is in your hand. Hard Rock Bet. Bet it, parlay it, boost it. However you want to do it. From wherever you are to the moon. Bet anytime a line, prop, or parlay catches your eye. And withdraw cash when you want it. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. New players bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorrento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from
from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
Is your restaurant looking a little tired from the long off season? Is your office a little offish? Start the new year off right by giving them a fresh start. Fresh Start Cleaning is now accepting new clients. Ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services. Fresh Start Cleaning. Get clean again with Fresh Start. Call 850-771-6917, 771-6917, and ask about their complimentary hood cleaning services.
You've found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. It's go time all the time. Sports talk around the clock.
Oh my gosh!
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is the Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. James Fife, LSU Jeff, and Bone Crusher here on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Happy weekend, everybody. We are past 5 o'clock. It's the weekend. I'll just call it right now. Call the show. Text the show, 850-215-6290. And be sure to be watching us on Twitter, X, Facebook, and YouTube, ESPN Northwest Florida. The name for all of those as well. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you need to watch some more TV, head on over to Scorpion TV and use the promo code ESPNNW. They got 5,000 live streaming channels, including ESPN and ESPN Plus, 400 local channels, and Scorpion TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, plus 200 entertainment news networks, all for $45.08 a month when you use ESPNNW promo code at checkout. And you can watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Cut the cord. Get your Scorpion. All right, so I told you we will be discussing the NHL CBA. It went through this week with very, very little fanfare. There wasn't a whole lot of yelling, whole lot of screaming. Everything went nice and smooth. No lockouts coming up, no strikes coming up. And this one goes through the 2030 season, so it's not a very long CBA because usually most of them are about a 8 to 10 year type thing. This one is basically an add-on continuation for the other one that was going to end at the 25-26 season, and it'll take us through the 29-30 season, so basically kind of a 4-year, 3-season thing right there. And what did they agree upon to make a few minor changes within the National Hockey League? So we do have an 84-game season now coming up. It was 82 for quite the longest time. I'm going to say that was the lockout back in like 94, got us up to the 82 games. So adding 2 more games to the season, it will be an 84-game season now. The preseason is being cut from 6 games down to 4 games. I don't think anybody's really going to complain about the preseason getting cut down, but I like the idea of more NHL regular season games, but I think it's taxing. It's a hard sport. It's a contact sport, so it'll be a little more taxing on the guys, but I mean, they agreed to it because this was an agreement between the union and the NHL. It has been signed off on, so NHL players looked at it and said, 2 more games? Sure, why not? We got it. So when it comes to contracts, they have shortened max term contracts. So what used to happen is if you played for, I'm just going to use the Predators because I'm a Preds fan. If you played for the Predators, your contract was running out, and you wanted to re-up with the Predators, because you were with that team, you could sign an 8-year contract as opposed to a 7-year contract if you went out on the free agent market and signed with anybody else. That has now been cut down to 7 years. And if you were not re-signing with your team, so say you hit the free agency wire and you sign with a new team, it used to be 7 years. That is now being cut to 6 years. So the NHL is cutting max length off of contracts. Sure. That's one way or another. This all goes back to the Ilya Kovalchuk, deal back in 2005 where the Devils were going to sign him for 12 years for $200 million. And basically like the first 8 years of the contract were minimum wage. And then the last 4 years when he was going to be like 42 or 43 years old, he was going to be making like $20 million a year. So basically like what the Dodgers are doing with Ohtani, the NHL kind of already tried it. And the NHL, when that contract happened, they said, no, we're not doing that. And so then the next CBA, which kind of caused a stink with the players, ended up going with, okay, 8 years. That has now been cut down. And apparently the players aren't too worried about it because they agreed to it. And they agreed to it without really any fight. They just agreed to it through just basic negotiations. So don't really have a hard opinion either way on that one. Now, the NHL will have permanent emergency backup goaltenders for teams. I like this one a lot because what was happening in the past and what the rule was is there was an emergency goalie in the stadium. In the stadium. It wasn't your guy. It wasn't always your guy. So if you're in Toronto, for a good example, it might be the Zamboni driver is your backup goalie. And that actually happened a couple of years ago where I think it was the Carolina Hurricanes were playing in Toronto. Carolina lost both of their goalies. And the last 5 minutes of the game, the Zamboni driver, literally the guy was a Zamboni driver, came out and finished the last 5 minutes of the game. He did all right. The guy was, he was a guy that was drafted in the NHL and he played minor league hockey forever. And then just said, well, I'm going to retire now. And I'm going to get a job with the Maple Leafs driving the Zamboni. And then a year after, retires, works a year. Then the next year, hey, you're going to be the backup for this game. Oh, okay, cool. I got my gear in the truck. If I get called in, I get called in. Yep.
The truck.
And he got his first taste of the NHL. Faced 4 shots, stopped all 4 of them.
Wow.
That must have been a highlight of his life.
That's got to be a highlight of life. So
that's like sitting in the basketball stands and pointing at you in the game.
You come in. I mean, that happened to me as an emergency goaltender one time where it was just like, hey, we need somebody to sit on the bench. You got gear. Sit. Thank you. I love it. So now teams will have their own guy that is permanent. You make that decision. You say, he is traveling with the team. He is our backup. So all of his gear will go with the team. He will travel with the team. He will sit somewhere in the locker room or out and about in the stadium and put his gear on when he is told to go put his gear on after the starting goalie of the game leaves with injury. So I like that because one of the rules that they were talking about was just not even, just eliminating it. I'm like, yeah, you can't eliminate it. You don't want a goalie coach coming in. You don't want a defenseman to come in. So I like that they listened to reason and actually made the rule better. So that way you can actually have some consistency with the backup goaltender. So that way you can maybe give him, or the emergency goaltender, maybe give him a little bit of time on ice during practices so he's used to playing with the guys. So he knows where, like, okay, when I'm playing with Bob and Fred and their defense in front of me, I know, like, Bob likes to stand over here and Fred likes to be over here. So you can have some continuity with it. I think that is a good rule to have. Now, one of the rules that many people were screaming for, and I like it, the NHL has made changes to the long-term injured reserve rule. So back in the day, the NHL, your salary cap was for the regular season. So game 1 to game 82, the roster you had to fit into the parameters of your salary cap. But when you made it to the postseason, it was gone because the rules read the season, not the postseason. So if you look at it, a lot of people got mad that the Tampa Bay Lightning did that, would bring back Kucherov that one year that they won because he was out for a good 60 games, but then came back in at the playoffs. He could have probably been brought back before the playoffs started, but the Lightning also knew, if we play him, that means we got to drop somebody else to make room for him on the roster to fit into the parameters of the salary cap. But if we go to the offseason, there's no rule there. So let's just, he's too injured to play in this last game of the season. But 3 days later, he's totally healthy enough to go play in the playoffs.
Well, let me ask you this.
How, get out of the rules?
How does this compare to, like, the MLB? Are the minor league hockey teams, are they affiliated with the major league hockey teams? Do they have these other franchises they can pull people from?
Yes. So in the NHL, right below the NHL is the American Hockey League. And there are 32 American Hockey League teams, which corresponds with the number of NHL teams. And each AHL team has their own NHL team. If you take a step back from that, you head down into what they call the ECHL, the East Coast Hockey League, which now covers more than just the East Coast.
I've seen some of that, yeah.
And they have about a 24 team, and there's some teams that share a team down there. And with the AHL teams, most of those guys on the AHL teams are, one, either contracted to the NHL team or are a protected property of an NHL team. Now, the ECHL is kind of a mixed bag. You got guys that are on NHL salaries, you got guys that are NHL protected, you got guys that are just working for that ECHL team, just signed a contract with the ECHL team that if another NHL team comes up and says, hey, we need you to play in our AHL affiliate over here, they can sign that guy away without having to make a trade or anything. And then, like, the team in Pensacola has no affiliation to the NHL. It's just minor league professional hockey. So there is a system there to work your way up.
Well, back to the whole goalie thing, that emergency goalie, is there not enough people on the team, on the ice, that could do that? Is that such a specialized position, like throwing Canseco out as a pitcher? I mean, can they do something like that, or these guys, that's not going to happen?
It's an old school rule, and actually, if you want to go back far enough, the emergency goalie back in the day was actually the goalie coach. So you might have like some 40-year-old guy, 50-year-old guy putting gear on to go out there.
As a 50-year-old guy, I find that very insulting for you to say.
We'll send you out there. We'll send you out there, Bone Crusher. I'll bring my gear in for you sometime. You can try it on.
Coming back.
And so it's the emergency goalie is only for that game. So like game number 20 of the season. So you only have the two goalies there. If they both get injured, then you can bring the emergency guy in. Now, they have to be injured. Like, they're injured, they can't come back in. Now, if it's just like goalie number 1 was playing bad, so you put goalie number 2 in, but goalie number 2 gets injured, you don't go to the emergency guy. You have to put goalie number 1 back in.
And you can't have somebody that's maybe another defensive player move positions?
There's no rule against doing it, but you wouldn't want to cut down on the rest of your roster because you got 20 guys on the bench. 2 of the guys are goalies. One's on the ice, one's on the bench. So you only got 18 other skaters. So it's just, you don't want to lose that extra footing. You can. I mean, if you want to take a forward or a defenseman and, hey, go put on somebody's gear and head on out there, there's no rule that says you can't do that. But you are going to lose a set of legs that can eat ice minutes. And usually it's a physical enough game and it's a quick enough game where you're constantly skating hard that you don't want to lose that extra body out there.
So all the hockey video games I played a lot of it. It was really good. There was 3 basically teams within the team. You have the different skaters would come on and off as a collective.
Yes.
So there's no out of that. There's really no extra players.
No, I mean so basically how the NHL rosters are set up is you have 4 forward lines of 3 guys. And you have 3 defensive lines of 2 guys. And you'll usually put your first defensive pair out with your first forward pair. That's a usual thing you do. But games going on, you don't like what you're seeing, you'll see them get mixed up. But you're going to see all of those guys, they're going to get time. And now, like your 4th line guys, the guys on the back end, they're only going to see 7, 8, maybe on a good night, 10 minutes. So they're not heavily used. But still, that's 8 minutes that you're keeping off of your top 3 lines.
It just seems crazy to me that you don't show up with enough players to fill the roster in that kind of situation. In baseball and any other sport, I mean, it's kind of a cool rule, I guess, because that guy got to go in the game, the Zamboni driver, but it sounds pretty far-fetched to me.
Yeah, it's basically, it's one of the old school rules from back in the day when they only had one goalie. Because back in the day, the NHL roster, I think, was only like 14 or 16 people. So it was kind of brutal. And if you lost him because, well, he wasn't wearing a mask and he took a puck to the eye and he can't see anymore, they put the backup goalie, they put the goalie coach in. And then they had the rule where, okay, now you can carry a second goalie. And some teams did, some teams didn't. And then they eventually had a rule that said, okay, you have to carry a second goalie. That rule came in the 60s, but by that point, teams were already carrying too because guys were falling out, and it's like, we don't really want to put the backup, the coach in that's, not exactly in the game shape anymore, but still in good enough shape that we can get out there and, finish the game.
Let me finish my beer. I'll be right in.
Yeah, exactly. Let him take it out there even. I think that might even help.
So the weirdest thing I saw was, the NFL does not require that you have 3 quarterbacks on the roster. You can have 2, you can have 4. And the weirdest thing I ever saw, I think it was the late 90s, might have been 97 or 98 or something like that. The Jets had 2 quarterbacks on the roster, and they both got hurt. And they brought the punter, Tom Tupa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember that one?
Now, Tupa was actually kind of legit.
Yeah. And so he went in there and he threw a couple of good passes and all that. And it was like, wow, this is crazy that the punter is.
It's a team of athletes. So there's probably a lot of guys on that team that played high school or even.
Oh, absolutely.
Who is it? Wes Welker? I know as a wide receiver for the Patriots, played in the MAC as a quarterback. And he went to the pros. I don't know if it was Wes Welker. It wasn't Amendola. It
Antoine Randall L.
No. It was I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
He played in Indiana.
He was a quarterback in Indiana.
Hoosiers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It was totally like a person who we think of as a wide receiver, and he played quarterback in the MAC, and then he only played wide receiver because the NFL was like, we don't want you as a quarterback. We want you as a wide receiver. I can't remember if it was Wes Welker. I know it wasn't Amendola, but it was one of those guys. And I don't remember. It wasn't Kent State. It might have been Bowling Green University. It was one of
those great MAC schools.
MAC schools. It wasn't Miami of Ohio. It wasn't Ohio. It wasn't. You know what? No, it wasn't Toledo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Bowling Green.
Yeah. Don't remember who it was.
I don't remember which wide receiver it was for the Patriots, but he quarterbacked in college, and that's all he did.
Well, we can Google it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll Google it later.
One of the, maybe we can give away, a prize.
Yeah, there we go. Make it a trivia question next week.
That boot store or something, we'll throw out to somebody.
All right, guys. Coming up next, we got our $2 bets and This Day in History. Afternoon Underdogs, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. Clear tonight with a low near 81 and a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine tomorrow morning, a light breeze and a temperature of 87. About the same in the afternoon and evening around 88 with a likelihood of thunderstorms and mostly sunshine. A mixture of mostly sunshine and scattered thunderstorms Sunday and hot around 89. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no. So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Krispy Kreme Donuts has unveiled a new donut collection with a heroic twist. In partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery, it's the Hungry for Heroes collection. Choose from Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, DC Comics' most iconic heroes. Available now at Krispy Kreme Donuts in front of HCA Hospital on 23rd Street in Panama City and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937, where you get them hot.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. In your face.
Questionable calls all over the NFL this year.
On the field.
Quantify to put a value on momentum. You can't do that.
And in your radio.
Hashtag NFL Rig.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
There's only 3 losing teams that have a positive run differential.
Well, that's a positive to look at.
Yeah. Rangers and Diamondbacks.
All right, everybody, pulling the curtain back a little bit, talking sports, even when we're at break. We are talking sports. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. James Fife, LSU Jeff, Bone Crusher, final segment on this Friday, and I will be out to enjoy my weekend. You are hearing us live from the CBC Construction Studios. Head on over to their website, cbcconstruction.com. Give them a call, 850-747-3815 for your construction needs. Or if you are looking for a good old employment opportunity, they are hiring right now. CBC Construction. You can call the show. You can text the show on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-612-7007. We are streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to download the app 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We got it on Apple. We got it on Android. We got it on Google. And ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. Game tonight, 7:15 first pitch. Pre-game festivities at 6 o'clock. Taking on the Cardinals at Busch Stadium there in St. Louis. Atlanta Braves baseball on ESPN Northwest Florida is sponsored locally by Best Way Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, and Brock Pest Control. Well, let's get on to my $2 bets on the day. Got a few bets that I am feeling good about. We will go over them as we speak. So my first one of the day, I feel very confident in this one. I got the Reds to win over the Rockies. Yeah. Lots of people are going to agree with that one. And I will parlay that one with the Tigers to get the victory over the Mariners. My $2 bet, if it hits, will return me $3.86. All right, you guys want to hop on this, or I will just keep on going for myself?
I want a piece of that action.
All right, let's go. All right, my next one, a little bit deeper of a parlay. Same game parlay, 4 different picks. I will take the Cubs plus 1.5 runs, taking on the Yankees. I will take Aaron Judge with the over half a hit. I will take Kyle Tucker at over half a hit, and I will keep Kyle Tucker on over half an RBI on the evening. That $2 bet, if it hits, $12.50. That's my big one on the day. And here's another one for the Braves. I got me a Braves parlay in here. It's nope, sorry, this one's not the Braves. I took that one out because I just really didn't feel good about it. This one's actually the Dodgers and the Giants, so I struck that one out. I want to hear your
Braves take.
I got to go back and find it. I took it off, but I can go find it. I can go find it here real quick, maybe. But for the Dodgers-Giants, I will take the Dodgers to win. Ohtani at over half a hit. Freddie Freeman for half a hit. And Dustin May, over 4.5 strikeouts. Taking a lot of overs today, guys. My $2 bet, if it hits, will return me $10.50. Big spender, big spender, big spender. Remember, guys, don't chase your losses and always bet responsibly. That's why it's $2. All right, we will now roll on into this day in history. It is Friday, June 11th. Happy Friday.
July.
July. I can't even keep up. See, that's the thing. I was gone from a month change, and I just can't keep up with it, man. Like, when I got back, my clock was totally screwed up because it was like, oh, it's Thursday. And I'm like, I thought it was Wednesday.
It's Thursday here. What day is it there?
Yeah, exactly. It was Thursday there. It was Wednesday here, and my clock still said Thursday. And I'm like, no, it's not Thursday. I got to go to work on Thursday. It's not Thursday. I just got back. And I was like, no, it's Wednesday. I'm like, oh, thank God. I have just been totally jet lagged and just confused on what time zone, continent, or country or earth I am on. But I am happy to be here today, ESPN Northwest Florida, right here, beautiful Panama City Beach. Well, let's try that again. Hi, everybody. James Fife. It is July 11th, 2025.
The show is live.
This Friday,
The current date is June 12th, 2017.
In the year 2525. On this day, 1914, Babe Ruth makes his Major League pitching debut for the Boston Red Sox against the Cleveland Indians, getting the 4-3 victory. 1967, Tony Perez homers in the 15th inning off of Catfish Hunter to give the National League the 2-1 victory in the All-Star Game. This was the longest All-Star Game ever played. 1985, Nolan Ryan of the Houston Astros becomes the first pitcher in Major League history to reach 4,000 strikeouts when he fans New York's Danny Heap in the 6th inning. 1992, Trebo Joe, a 9-year-old gelding, makes harness racing history by losing his 162nd consecutive race. Trebo Joe finishes 4th to break the North American record of 161 straight losses held by Shyaway Moses. And on this day, 2012, future NBA Hall of Famer Steve Nash is traded by the Phoenix Suns and lands in Los Angeles with the Lakers. So that is this day in history. It is June, I said it. Guys, it's not June, it's July. July 11th, everybody.
I'll have what he's having.
Friday. It's the end of the show.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's the end of the week.
It's June somewhere.
Yeah, it is June. It's got to be June somewhere. I mean, time zones and months, they all change, right? Right.
I had to fact check you, and I was wrong. When you said the Cleveland Indians, you assumed it was the Cleveland Indians, and you're right, though.
Yeah.
Because 3 years before that, they officially changed the mascot to the Indians. It had been 3 different names.
Yeah, spiders, gnats, and something else on that.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. End of the show. Thanks so much for tuning in, hanging out here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You have been listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. James Fife, LSU Jeff, Bone Crusher. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Keep your stick on the ice.
The next evolution in sports talk radio. We're back! 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdog.
Hello.
The only live afternoon show in Panama City where you can win